won the conference tournament title a year ago. They're led by Rico Hill, their top scorer and rebounder.
Certainly one of the finest players, if not the finest player in the Valley. Rightfully so, picked preseason player of the year. But he's not the only one on that team, but he serves the leader. And he's a junior, and they've got 4 seniors. So this is one of the most veteran teams that's ever played for Illinois State in recent years.
Bradley comes home after winning 2 of 3 on the road. A big boost for them Saturday night in Omaha from Matt Moran.
Right, and Bradley does need more balance than Illinois State. And Matt Moran, I hope, gets a lot of minutes tonight and helps make this a good basketball game.
12 points off the bench on Saturday for the sophomore from Pekin. We got a chance to talk to Illinois State assistant coach Chad Altadonna before the game. He said if he could come back for one more in his career, it'd be this one. Bradley and Illinois State, the starting lineups in just a minute. Downtown Peoria, Lee Hall and Ron Ferguson ready to bring you Illinois State and Bradley. Tonight's opening lineup brought to you by Carl's Jr. If a burger doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face. First, for the visiting Illinois State Redbirds, it's Rico Hill, the preseason player of the year. Dan Muller at the other forward. Leroy Watkins at center. Skip Schaefbauer at one guard, and Jamar Smiley at the other guard. For Bradley, Ed Kane coming up next.
Oftentimes they put a sacrificial lamb on him for a while because we don't lose one of our key players picking up fouls. And I'm going to be very anxious to see how they handle Rico Hill. Not that they have anybody that's easy on their team. They're a well-balanced team. They all can score, and they even have reserves that can score. They're a very fine offensive team, ranked second in the conference.
Adebayo Akinkole and the Braves ranked number 1 in the conference defensively. They are top 10 in the country when it comes to defense. So something's got to give tonight. It's the good defense against the good offense.
Well, but Illinois State also has a good defense too. I've watched them play on television a couple times, and they certainly have a fine defense. They're a well-rounded basketball team. Bradley is going to have to play, and then usually outstanding game here tonight to win this game from Illinois State.
A senior-dominated team, Ron. That's, I think, the important thing to point out for Illinois State. They have 6 seniors compared to Bradley's 1 senior.
Right, and that says a lot. But in Bradley's got the home court, the fan support, so that'll make up a little bit, for that part of it. But it's going to be Bradley's going to have to step up and score a little bit more than they normally do. I don't think 50 points is going to keep Bradley in the ballgame.
There you get a look at the Illinois State huddle. In the middle of that is Kevin Stallings in his 5th year at Illinois State. An amazing record for Stallings, 93 and 46 overall. Jim Molinari, his 7th year at Bradley, 9th overall as a head coach against Illinois State. He is 5-7. 5-1 here at home. Neither coach, I think is interesting, has won on the opponent's home floor. Molinari is 0-6 in normal. Stallings is 0-4 here.
Well, Kevin Stallings is 5th in the nation for coaches that have won over 50 games at one school. That's pretty good. Or 5th in the Missouri Valley
Conference, right? And he's behind some pretty impressive names.
And ahead of one that the Bradley fans will recognize, Chuck Orsburn.
Bio Akinkole and Leroy Watkins, the 2 seniors, jump center in front of a sellout crowd in downtown Peoria. The Bradley fans will stay on their feet until Illinois State scores. Here's Roberson inside. Akinkole for the jam, and it's Bradley on the board first. Bio Akinkole, 14 points a game. Redbirds go inside at the other end. Leroy Watkins.
Cage was on Hill that time down the floor.
Our officials tonight, Jerry Petro, Paul Jansen, and Steve Olson, all of the Missouri Valley Conference. There's a look at those gentlemen who will be calling the action tonight. Eric Roberson, jumper off the pick, he's good.
Rico Hill was covering Eric Roberson, which seems a little strange, but I think he's trying to keep Rico Hill out of foul trouble. Rico's had a tendency to get into foul trouble.
Pass inside is tipped out of bounds. It'll remain Illinois State's ball with 27 on the shot clock. Well, you would think a high-scoring game would favor Illinois State, but the Braves have come out firing, lead at 4-2.
Well, when Eric can score. Well, that's 2 baskets for Watkins now, too.
He is a big load inside, 6'7", 265. He has all of Illinois State's 4 points. We've played a minute.
Rico Hilt on Ed Cage now.
Rob Dye, nice pass inside to Roberson, who overshoots it.
That's too bad. They moved the ball nice. Bradley hadn't got a good shot out of that.
Skip Schaefbauer with it, gives to Watkins at the top of the key. Now they go inside to Hill, who's double teamed. Nice recognition. Pass to Watkins. He's good. Leroy Watkins, 6 points to start the game.
3 for 3. Illinois State hasn't missed a shot, and Bradley just missed 1.
Leroy only averages 8 points a game. He's one of several Redbirds who have battled injuries in the early season.
Dan Muller has been Defensive Player of the Year twice in the Missouri Valley, and he's covering Rob Dye, so Rob Dye's going to have a rough night.
Whistle away from the ball is on Leroy Watkins of Illinois State. His first team foul.
It's nice that you can take a 6'6" player like Dan Muller and have him come out and cover Bradley's smallest player. That's the flexibility Illinois State has.
2 minutes gone in the ball game. Illinois State a 6-4 lead. Muller, there's why he's Defensive Player of the Year. He is in the passing lanes all night.
He's very quick for a... Yeah.
This whistle inside goes against Adebayo Akinkele, trying to get position against Rico Hill.
And both of the players on the post are pushing each other back and forth. It's kind of hard to call a foul in that situation. They're both really following each other.
That wrestling match goes in Rico Hill's favor.
Lyle's going to have to do a better job on Watkins.
Smiley almost throws it away.
Illinois State's got good ball movement. They're moving the ball good.
Schaefbauer for 3 is no good.
Right, having a tough time really getting any room at all.
Akinkele tried to lob it. I don't think that was actually a shot. Roberson up and over and into the crowd as he tried to save that one.
I'm not sure if that was a shot or a pass. I think you're right. I don't think that was a shot.
Nice hustle by Eric Roberson. He ended up among the Illinois State managers down there at the other end. They made a nice play to keep him from going over the table. Now a whistle away from the ball goes against Illinois State. Jamar Smiley tagged with this one.
Illegal screen, he called Smiley for it.
Second team foul on Illinois State. We've played 3 minutes. Both teams came out blazing. Now they've been quiet offensively for a couple of minutes.
Well, it takes a few minutes for everybody to settle down.
Gavin Shire's 3 is no good. He hit all 3 of his 3-point attempts at Creighton Saturday night.
Gavin wasn't really squared away on that shot, Lee. He didn't. He shot that rather quickly.
Pass inside. Roberson picked it off, but they say he stepped out of bounds. Eric Roberson leads the league in steals. Almost had one here, but they say he stepped out. 25 on the shot clock for Illinois State. Watkins, travel.
He was kind of knocked off his feet there, too. That probably could have been a foul on Bradley, too, but they called the traveling before they called the foul.
Watkins struggled early in the season after separating his shoulder. He missed all but 8 minutes of the first 6 games. He is a force here in the early going tonight, all 6 of Illinois State's points. And he plays defense against Akinkele. And he does him a favor there. He blocked it, and it went in.
I'm not so sure that shot would have gone in if there hadn't been some contact there.
Give the assist to Leroy Watkins, who picks up his second personal.
Here comes Gibbons for Watkins, I'm sure.
So Akinkele will go to the line. There's Rob Gibbons, another senior. He's out of Rockaway, New Jersey. Watkins sits with 2 personals and 6 points. in the first 4 minutes of this ball game. Akinkale, 76% free throw shooter, completes the three-point play. Abakawita comes in for Akinkale.
They got Ab in there to cover, just strictly to cover Gibbons.
Jim Molinari with a little bit of a matchup substitution there. Thinking Kawita can maybe give some fouls against Gibbons, who tries to take advantage, puts it off the glass, and Hill is there for the tap in. Rico's first bucket of the night.
That was Cage. Cage didn't keep him off the boards. You got to keep Rico Hill off the boards. He's such a great all-around player.
Whistle against Illinois State is against Rico Hill, his first personal. That's the fourth team foul on Illinois State. Matt Moran checks into the ballgame for Bradley. Michael Collins comes in. And we've got a timeout. Those gentlemen will join the fray when we return. Illinois State by 1. Illinois State, a 1-point lead. Both teams came out shooting like we were going to be on about a 90-point pace, Ron. Akinkale with the first bucket of the ball game.
Well, it takes a couple times up and down the floor for the teams to get used to what the other team's doing offensively. And both teams are so good defensively, and once they find out what each team is running, the defense will tighten up, and the scoring is probably going to slow down. For Bradley's sake, it probably better slow down.
At the end of the game, we'll pick the Dodge Player of the Game. See the new Dodge at your friendly Dodge dealer. Saturday night Player of the Game, Matt Moran from Pekin, is in the ball game now for Bradley. It's Diane Roberson, Kawita, Moran, and Collins for Bradley. For Illinois State, it's Muller, Gibbons, Schaefbauer, Smiley, and Hill. Bradley inbounds with a new shot clock. Trailing by 1. Dye turns around and hits off the screen.
Well, that's good to see because, Dye either is hot or he's cold, and hopefully tonight will be one of the nights he's hot.
Rob Dye, 13 points a game, gets on the board. Hill, turnaround jumper, won't roll in. Gibbons knocks it up in the air, swats it back out to Smiley, who controls it. New shot clock for the Redbirds. Roberson goes for the steal and gets called for the reach instead. That's his first personal, second team foul on the Braves.
Well, Bradley's going to need to keep Dye and Roberson in the game as long as they can. So they can't afford to get into foul trouble.
Hill looks to post up inside against Moran. Good battle there. Hill, turnaround jumper is good. 18.2 points a game for Rico Hill. He's third in the Valley in scoring.
If he gets the ball any place around the basket 10 feet, he's just dangerous because he can take it to the basket and he can shoot from outside.
He's added the three-point shot to his repertoire this season. He's dangerous anywhere he touches the ball anymore. Braves trail by 1, 14:45 to go. And the foul inside is against Rob Gibbons of Illinois State. 15th foul on the Redbirds. Steve Hansel, senior from Birmingham, England, checks in. He replaces Smiley for Illinois State.
Illinois State is one of the teams, Lee, that Bradley is actually shooting better from the free throw line.
Dye skipped a little bit when he caught that one. No good.
Bradley's shooting 68% now from the free throw line, which is really coming up, and Illinois State is shooting 66%. So that's about the only edge I think that Bradley has.
It's one of the
statistics.
One of the few soft spots in the Illinois State armor for sure.
Right, their field goal shooting percentage doesn't indicate that, or indicates they should shoot a lot better for the free throw line. Steve Hansel in the game now. Rob Dye's doing a good job covering him.
Schaefbauer for 3. No good. He starts off cold tonight.
Now, last year, Schaefbauer didn't score a basket in the game over here.
0 for 5 from the field at Carver Arena. Couldn't get warmed up on the icy floor. Roberson, nice look. Nice pass, Moran.
We're back.
Dan Muller, no good from beyond the arc. The Braves up 1. Akinkele will check in for Bradley on the next dead ball. Here's Moran with it. 12 points off the bench at Creighton. Collins almost dragged his pivot foot, did not. 14 on the shot clock. It'll be Bradley ball with 13 now on the shot clock. Kyle Cartmill checks in for Illinois State. Junior from Quincy, his first appearance tonight. Fred Atkins and Adebayo Akinkele back in for Bradley.
13 seconds on the shot clock. Oh,
Akinkele throws it away, and it'll be Illinois State ball. Nobody helped Bio out in the corner, and he expected somebody to be there, and they weren't.
Well, there haven't been many turnovers on either team so far. It's been a well-played game so far.
Rico Hill gets it off the glass, no good. Tough shot there, but if you're going to have somebody shoot a tough shot, you want the junior from Calumet Park firing it up for you.
There's not many shots that you wouldn't want him shooting. They haven't invented one yet.
Akinkele tried to find Moran in the low post, but he wasn't open. 10 on the shot clock. Die, no good. Didn't quite get his feet set that time.
Stopped the ball.
Hill walked, got away with it. He walked or carried it. Take your pick.
Crowd didn't like that one.
Good ball movement by the Redbirds. Hill is up and good. He's got 6 points.
Tough to stop. He's so big he can get off the shot against almost anybody.
31 points Sunday against Southwest Missouri State for Rico Hill.
You just got to keep the ball out of his hands as much as you can.
Moran hit the deck. Hill picks up his second personal. 6th team foul on the Redbirds.
Hill has had some problems with foul trouble this year, and that's why he's not averaging, he's only averaging 27 minutes a game, and most of that's because of foul trouble.
Cage and Roberson back in for the Braves, rather.
Oh. Ohio's thrown in a couple. That was like a prayer shot. It looked like he got some contact there, but got it in.
Akinkele now with 7 to lead Bradley. Well, you talk about fouls, and there is a discrepancy, 6-2, as Cartmill fires up the 3 and hits.
He may be a better shooter than Schaefbauer. He's just not as strong physically and his experience, but you've got to cover him like you do Schaefbauer.
34% from three-point range, but he can knock him down for you when you need him. 15-13 now, Illinois State. Roberson almost threw it away. Atkins loses it, gets it back, 10 on the shot clock. Redbirds steal, they've got numbers. Cartmill puts it up, no good. Hansel the rebound. And a foul against Roberson. It looked like he got all ball, but he swatted down on it, and 9 times out of 10 you'll be whistled for that.
Well, the official was right there looking at it, the same angle that we had, and it looks as all ball. I think he just made up his mind and couldn't change it after he blew the whistle.
That's the second personal on Eric Roberson as we go to break. 11:21 to play first half. Illinois State by 2. Lee Hall, Ron Ferguson back at Carver Arena. Illinois State a 2-point lead. We talked about Matt Moran and the things he does. He's a good passer for a big man.
He certainly is. He hasn't taken a shot yet, but he's a little bit oversized underneath the basket. Gibbons is pretty big, and they're double teaming the pivot. But he'll get some time in there.
Bradley Scoreboard throughout the game is presented by Graphic Express, your business printing resource. There's a good look at the sophomore from Pekin. Started his career at Northwestern, and now after a year and a half or so, he is back on the floor. He looked pretty winded Saturday night. You can imagine how good he's going to be once he gets back in shape. Coming off of that broken foot. We were talking, Ron, about the edge in fouls. Bradley has 3 team fouls, ISU 6. Over the last 5 games, Illinois State's been whistled for 119 fouls. 119 fouls as compared to 84 by their opponents. So they are a little bit more foul prone than your average team.
Well, they're a very aggressive team, and they've got a lot of depth. So I think that probably is part of the reason.
Cartmill again for 3. It was no good. Jerome Robinson knocks it out of bounds for Bradley, just into the ball game for the Braves. Freshman out of Ontario, Canada.
Illinois State definitely wants to play an up-tempo game, and I think they play real aggressive and go after you pretty good because they want to speed up the game, and consequently they're going to pick up a few more fouls.
Dan Muller, the senior from Indiana, up and no good. Gibbons had a hand on it again, but couldn't control.
Jerome Robinson's in there now, another freshman for Bradley.
Akinkale. Right on the edge of his range. It was a little bit long, but not a bad shot. Smiley for 3. 3 players hit the floor. Cartmill comes up with it. Up and good. Kyle Cartmill 5 points off the bench for Illinois State.
Jim Molinari wanted a foul there. There was a lot of contact. I'm not sure who the foul, if there was a foul, who it was on. There were too many players.
Now a whistle away from the ball.
I would call that maybe a little bit of a makeup call after Molinari just got kind of chewed Petro out a little bit.
Rob Gibbons picks up his second personal. That's now 17 fouls on Illinois State. So Bradley is in the bonus as Matt Moran comes back in for Akinkale. I'm guessing maybe Jim Molinari didn't like that shot as much as I did. Jerome Robinson at the line, freshman out of Mississauga, Ontario. 6 of 9 at the line this season, misses the first.
Now this is kind of a key point now. Illinois State scored about 6 straight points, and Bradley hasn't scored in a while, and you've got to stay close. Now, Watkins hasn't missed a shot, I don't believe.
8 points for Leroy Watkins. Jim Molinari calls it 20. And except for Cartmill's 3, Ron, it's been all Illinois State inside buckets.
Right. Watkins has got 4 baskets close to the basket. Rico Hill's got a tip in. They are getting good shots inside. That's because they are a good perimeter shooting team, and I think, Coach Molinari's got them going out covering their outside shooters, which opens it up inside. And I think he's gambling a little bit on Watkins, and so far we're losing the gamble.
Well, and you look at the big men, and that's an advantage. I mean, you've got Rico Hill, who's 6'6", 225, and Leroy Watkins, 6'7", 265. Bradley just doesn't have anybody who can muscle up against those guys.
No, and Bio can't be in 2 places at one time, so as long as we have to cover Bradley has to cover Schaefbauer and Cartmill on the outside, they're going to get the ball inside, and if they keep shooting like that, it's going to be tough for Bradley. But Bradley needs to score. They're in one of their offensive slumps here. They haven't had really some good shots in a while either, though.
Illinois State now a 6-point lead. There's the time remaining first half. Roberson double team, finds Cage, who can hit that. He does.
Now that was a big basket for Bradley.
Ed Cage has been single digits 5 games in a row. He was in double digits the 6 games prior to that. So Bradley looking for a little bit more from him tonight.
Now Muller's playing inside a little bit. Comes to the corner.
That was a 7-0 run. Stop.
Watkins he's just so big you can't get.
Well, that one tried to go in there, bounced 4 or 5 times on the rim, but didn't go, and that's the first miss tonight for Leroy Watkins, who's now 4 of 5 from the field.
Moran is trying to get in front of Watkins, but he can't get around him. He's got such a big body.
Akinkale at the free throw line, inside to Cage. Nice high-low pass from Akinkale. Ed Cage now with 4. Bradley back within 2. Smiley drives, puts it up, no good. Now it's Hansel to Muller, fouled by Cage. First personal on Ed Cage, 4th team foul on Bradley.
Illinois State is really quick to the ball on those long rebounds on the offensive end. They've come up with 3 or 4 offensive rebounds that have bounced out by the free throw line. And that's helped them get the second shots down here. That's probably responsible for them having the lead.
Dan Muller, senior out of Lafayette, Indiana. He's hit 21 of his last 26 at the line after a slow start there this season. Schaefbauer and Hill back in for ISU. You'll like this one, Ron. Dan Muller, 7% body fat.
It was only 3 years ago, and I had about that.
Yeah. You had 7% body. There's a difference. Muller hits them both. And the foul is on Smiley.
That wasn't a very. That was kind of a tic-tacky foul, as Chick Hearn would say. Not that I'm trying to compare myself with Chick Hearn in any way, but that was one of his sayings I found that he originated.
Just did his 3,000th game in a row for the Lakers. Former WEEK employee.
Right. He got his start here. Peoria went to Bradley, and
75% free thrower. Matt Moran hits his first. Bradley back within 2.
That horn doesn't sound like it's very loud, does it? You can hardly hear the horn.
Gavin Shire now in for Ed Cage. 21-19, 8:15 to play first half. Muller with him.
Biles coming all the way out covering Hill.
He presents some matchup problems. A big guy that can go outside like he can. Inside to Smiley. Good pass from Muller, and Smiley will go to the line. Foul is on Dodd. That's his first. 5th team foul on the Braves.
Well, Illinois State makes it tough. As I said many times, they've got such good balance that you can't lay off of anybody, and that's what makes it tough.
Another senior for Illinois State, Jamar Smiley. 5'11", senior out of Hempstead, New York. 72% free thrower. He missed the first one. Rob Gibbons in for Watkins, who's been a load for ISU.
In more ways than one.
Smiley hits the second.
Now they're in a press now after made free throws.
22-19. Bradley needs to get it across the timeline. They do. Moran pulls it back with 25 on the shot clock. So they just did beat the 10-second count. Roberson drives. A Kinkele baseline jumper, no good.
That was a good shot. Bradley did a good job running their offense that time.
Bradley's been a while without a field goal. Hill for 3. He has added that shot to his repertoire, but missed that one. Schaefbauer saves the die, and a foul on Smiley is his 3rd. Tried to pick up the charge, instead is called for his 3rd personal.
He'd have set that about a foot further away. I think he'd have got the charge.
Well,
that was one of those plays that could have gone either way.
I'm not so sure about that.
I think that could have gone either way.
Pretty close, because Rob was turning as he did come into him. It wasn't like he was set up underneath him and he didn't have room to turn. At any rate, it sends Rob Dye to the line. Sophomore from Springfield makes the first one. Kevin Stallings questioning that call a little bit. Dye a 72% free thrower. Rattles the second one out.
I don't think Bradley's got an offensive rebound yet, Lee, where Illinois State's shot several.
Hill with it on the baseline. And now it's Roberson with the steal. To the other end, he lays it up and good. Eric Roberson, the leading steal man in the Valley, the Predator, now with 6.
He didn't try to dunk that one because I think he just missed the dunk in a recent game.
We are tied, and another steal, but now a whistle inside, and that will negate the Bradley steal. Foul is on Moran, his first. 6th team foul. Let's take a look at it again. His teammates call him the Predator. I think he heard Hansel coming too. He knew he had to get up and get rid of it in a hurry. And we will get out of here in a hurry. We are tied with 6:55 to play in the first half. At Carver Arena, Illinois State and Bradley tied at 22 with 6:55 remaining here in the first half. There's another look at Eric Roberson. He's averaging over 2 steals a game. Only 3 other Braves have averaged 2 steals a game for an entire season. Hersey Hawkins, Willie Scott. For tonight's game, this Bradley basketball telecast is protected by broadcast rights granted by Bradley University and the Missouri Valley Conference. Any rebroadcast or other use without the express written consent of WEEK-TV and Bradley University is prohibited. Bradley shooting it pretty well.
You know, the rebounds are 13-8 in favor of Illinois State. I suspected it was something close to that.
Bradley shooting 60%, ISU 41%. Add a little to that as Rico Hill gets the dunk
and foul, and that was a very silly foul.
And I think you'll see a little movement after the bucket here for Mr. Hill.
That wasn't very smart from Gavin there. He had no chance that time. But three-point play is evil for all coaches, I'll guarantee you.
Missouri Valley Player of the Week last week. He had 20 in the win against Southern. 23 points, 17 rebounds against Drake, but he misses that free throw. And the weakness of Illinois State showing a little bit there. They are now 3 of 5 at the line. 6:30 to play first half. ISU by a bucket.
Unlike a lot of other teams, they're playing Eric Roberson pretty tight.
Dye off a screen, up and no good.
Well, they got a good shot for Dye that time. It's just, and he's not far off.
Muller down the baseline. Dan Muller, 13 points, 10 rebounds in the loss against Southwest on Sunday.
Well, that was a case of Bradley not getting back on defense fast enough because the defense wasn't set, and Illinois State was able to get an easy shot out of it. You've got to get back on Illinois State. They like to go.
ISU picks up the foul away from the ball.
That's number 10, Lee.
It's on Rob Gibbons. He's got 3. Smiley has 3. Watkins has 2.
The bonus. Double bonus.
Double bonus for Moran. Missed the first.
This is a game where Bradley really needs to shoot very high percentage from the free throw line. Because if Illinois State fouls a lot, you're probably going to shoot some free throws. And for Bradley to win, that would certainly be a great help to make a good percentage of their free throws.
Substitutions for both teams. Matt Moran hits the second. He's got 3 points.
Still hasn't had a shot.
Leroy Watkins back in for Rob Gibbons, who sits with 3 personals. Muller looks inside. Watkins, now he's open. So is Muller. Dan Muller a little bit chilly tonight from the field.
Well, they can afford to have 1 or 2 players chilly because they've got so many good shooters.
Leroy Watkins with a steal. The house may come down on this one.
That was a very soft pass by Robert Dye, and occasionally he does that. He's just got to make a crisper pass. He kind of advertises his pass and then floats it out there, and even I can pick those off, Lee.
You can't do that with it, though.
No.
8.2 a game for Leroy Watkins. He's got 10.
I could pass it to you, and you could do that.
Yeah. As long as we get that thing lower to about 7 or 8 feet.
This is key for Bradley here because they need to keep it closer. They don't want to let it get a run.
Kinkele puts it up with 6 on the shot clock. Robinson falls to the floor. 4:30 to play. Ahead to Muller, who wisely passes it back because he was out of control. Schaefbauer. He's cold tonight, too. ISU gets it back again to the dismay of the Bradley crowd. Watkins up and over, no good this time.
That didn't look like the Watkins we saw before. He missed that by about 3 feet.
Four minutes left first half. Schaefbauer now with the steal, but he stepped out of bounds.
Dude, Dye is not, he's giving away, he's advertising his passes, and the defense is just picking them off.
Illinois State with a 5-point lead, 3:58 left first half. Leroy Watkins is doing it all so far for Illinois State. He's taking away Eric Roberson's job. The steal and the jam at the other end. In the last 2 games for Illinois State, Leroy did not score in the first half. He's got 10 so far.
10 points. Well, he's certainly made the difference this first half. Because Bradley's shooting 60%, but they've only taken 15 shots, where Illinois State has taken 22 shots and hit the same number of baskets, 9 to 41%. So Bradley's going to have to get a few more shots, and that means they have to get a few offensive rebounds, which Bradley is not getting.
Well, I think Bradley has 1 basket since right around the 8-minute mark. The last...
Well, Roberson's steal was the last basket.
Right, but that was the only basket in the last 5 or 6 minutes, I would wager. There's the time left first half. Moran triple team, but he sneaks his way through it anyway and scores. Matt Moran, his first basket of the night. He's got 5 points.
Now, Illinois State's trying to double the low post, so Moran's not going to have an awful lot of time.
Schaefbauer up into section 4.
He's got to make his move pretty quickly before they put the double team. See, Bradley doesn't have the 3-point shooters to kick the ball back out to, and Illinois State knows that, so they can afford to double up on the low post.
That was a pretty good move by Moran, though, Ron. He was double teamed, and there was help behind the double team, and he still managed to get through it all.
Right. If he'd have turned to his right, though, he wouldn't have gotten anything, but he made the smart move.
Bradley back within 3. Illinois State's biggest lead of the ball game has been 7. Check that, 6. Collins inside. Michael Collins, the sophomore from Wheaton, with his first basket. Bradley back within 1. Muller, charge, no basket.
That was a big call for Bradley.
Rob Dye with a heads-up defensive play. Player control foul, so the Braves don't shoot, even though they are in the double bonus. Under 3 minutes left now, first half. Bradley within 1. You expect this kind of game when Bradley and Illinois State meet. A Kinkley with 9 now. That's Bradley's first lead since it was 13-12 with about 12 minutes to go in the first half.
And Rico Hill's not in the ball game, and I'm trying to figure out why. He hasn't played that much the first half.
10 on the shot clock. Cartmill for 3 is good. Kyle Cartmill's second 3 of the night. He has 8 points off the bench for the Redbirds, who lead it by 2.
Coach Malinois wanted to travel on Illinois State that last time. I'm not sure there was a travel, though. It looked like it was, but I don't think he moved his pivot foot.
Michael Collins from outside.
That was a good shot, and those are the kinds of shots that you need a guy in Collins' position to hit those shots. Look at Muller. He's playing a pivot. Biles covered Muller.
Schaefbauer the drive. Kicks it out to Muller for 3. Dan just can't find his shot tonight. Muller's a 41% three-point shooter, but he has been off the mark tonight. Ed Cage back in for Bradley. Cage replaces Matt Moran.
Pearson.
Atkins in for Roberson. Kenneth Pearson makes his first appearance. He's one of several Redbirds who struggled with injuries this year.
Roberson's coming out. Coach Mo doesn't want Roberson to pick up a third foul here before the half.
Bradley down 2 as we approach the 1-minute mark in the first half. Stolen by Cartmill. Bounced it off the official's foot. He can't catch up with it, and it's a foul on Atkins. His first. Illinois State now will shoot the bonus. 7th-team foul on the Braves.
Well, Bradley's making a lot of bounce passes that are kind of ill-advised, and it's in Illinois State, they're all quick.
I think he dribbled that off the official's foot.
Well, on the other side of the floor, I couldn't tell, but it's a turnover someplace.
Kyle Cartmill, 82% free throw shooter. It's the first. There's Jim Molinari. He'll send Roberson back in. Cartmill hits both free throws. 10 points off the bench for Kyle Cartmill. That ties him with honors on ISU with Leroy Watkins.
Illinois State's in the press here now.
16-second difference in the shot clock and the game clock. Dye is double teamed, gets it ahead to Roberson. Bradley breaks it, a Kinkley, and he's fouled.
Well, it was a struggle, but Bradley picked up the foul there.
Fouls on Hansel, his first.
Illinois State came pretty close to causing another turnover there. Illinois State doesn't get enough credit defensively. They're really a good defensive club. The reason their defensive average isn't as good is because they run so much offensively and shoot the ball pretty quick that they play a lot more defense, a lot more possessions down the floor. They play defense, and consequently they give up more points. But their defense is pretty darn good.
Well, Kinkley now 3 of 3 at the line tonight. Watkins back in for ISU. And Kevin Stallings will take a 20-second timeout. Bradley leads this all-time series 48-36. The last 10 have gone 5-5, each team winning at home.
You know, you want to go way back in the middle 70s. When I was at Illinois State as an assistant coach, we played Bradley twice. I was at Illinois State, and we won both games. I'm sure it wasn't because
that was key. That was key, right?
It wasn't because of my coaching, I might have.
Illinois State's been close here the last couple of years.
Well, there's 42 seconds, and Bradley's got to get the ball back. It's a question whether Illinois State's going to take the quick shot or try to milk the clock out and hope that Bradley doesn't get another shot.
It's a 7-second difference in the shot clock and the game clock.
They almost have to take it. If they get a good shot, they almost have to take it.
Watkins trying to post up down low. Shot clock at 12 for ISU.
Well, they're going to wind up picking one whether they like it here. Don't let Cartmill shoot it.
Shot clock at 3. Hansel loses it. 6 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Dye is fouled. And he'll go to the line with 1.3 on the clock. Schaefbauer gets his first personal.
I'm not quite sure what Illinois State was trying to do down here. I guess they just wanted to run as much of the clock, but they didn't get a very good shot, and it kind of backfired on them, which it usually does when you those last-second organizations sometimes just break down.
Dye at the line, 1 of 2 tonight. He was clutch at Creighton Saturday night, 5 of 6 in the last minute. He has 4, Bradley within 1. Hansel from half court. No card for Hansel and no bucket either.
Well, the first half has been everything we thought. It's another one of those close ball games. No, I think Illinois State got out about 6 or 7 points, and that was the biggest lead. And it's got the makings of a pretty good basketball game.
It almost always is. Bradley and Illinois State. The Redbirds a 1-point lead at the half. Back with more from Carver Arena coming up.
And probably wind up the same way. Significant that Rico Hill only played 10 minutes the first half. He had 2 fouls, and I'm sure he's been in foul trouble, and that's hurt Illinois State. I think Kevin Stallings wanted to make sure he didn't pick up that 3rd foul, so he tried to get by the first half without him. But we're going to see a lot of him in the second half.
Let's take a look at our first half highlights. Leroy Watkins had a lot of inside buckets, but how about this one? The steal and the jam at the other end. He had 10 points in the first half to share honors with Illinois State, for Illinois State rather. Eric Roberson, this is kind of what we expect from him. Stealing the layup at the other end for Roberson. He has 6 points.
6 points and 5 assists Roberson's got.
How about this up and under move by Matt Moran with 5 points off the bench for Bradley. It's a 1-point ball game at the half. Illinois State leads it 33-32. Back with more from Carver Arena in a minute. Time score, Illinois State, the 1-point lead over Bradley. We'll be back to take a look at the first half stats. Lee Hall and Ron Ferguson to take a look at our halftime stats. As always, brought to us by Bud Light. Make it a Bud Light. Field goal percentage, Bradley shooting it rather well, 57%. Illinois State at 43%. The three-point shot pretty much a non-factor tonight. Illinois State 2 of 11 from three-point range. Bradley 0 for 1. Bradley shooting it better from the line. Rebounds 17-12 in favor of Illinois State. Bradley no offensive rebounds in the first half. Turnovers fairly even, 7 for Bradley, 6 for the Redbirds. Individual scoring, Leroy Watkins and Kyle Cartmill tied for honors with Illinois State with 10 each. Rico Hill with 8, Dan Muller 2, Steve Hansel 2, Jamar Smiley with 1. For Bradley, it's Adebayo Akinkole with 11. Eric Roberson 6, Matt Moran 5 off the bench, 4 for Diane Cage, 2 for Michael Collins. 33-32 our score at halftime. And you can read about tonight's game not only in the Journal-Star, but in the Chicago Tribune. Bill Joust on hand tonight, sometimes represented tonight as well. They need to get you on their sports writers program. I'd like to hear.
You have to smoke you have to be able to smoke a cigar to get on that program. I don't know if I can handle that, Lee.
Yeah, we'll get you a Tiparillo or something. Halftime score from the Valley tonight. Creighton leading Southwest Missouri State at the half. 51-31. How about Southwest Missouri State? They are really kind of up and down this year.
That's just amazing. They're at home. I don't think anybody's going to beat them at home, but on the road they seem to have some problems.
Bradley went about 5 minutes with just 1 basket from the field in the first half. Illinois State unable to pull away. And we are underway in the final 20 minutes.
Pretty well played game so far, though, for a rivalry like this. Is one team's got 7 turnovers and the other team's only got 6, and that's pretty good. And when everybody's so intense.
Rico Hill turnaround jumper. He's got 10.
Well, look for Rico Hill to be involved a lot more in the offense for Illinois State in the second half.
He is the man. 18.2 points a game.
He can play guard offensively. He can move him around, and it makes it very difficult to cover.
He's guarding Akinkole as we start the second half. Shot clock at 12 for Bradley. Akinkole, 10-foot jumper is good.
Akinkole's hit about 3 shots on the baseline tonight, and that certainly helped Bradley stay in the ball game.
13 for Bio. Bradley within 1. Ooh. Here's Hill. Boy, you can't leave him that open. He flashed across the lane and was wide open. 12 for Rico Hill.
Well, Bradley, I can see the coaches yelling. They forgot to switch, and of course he then gets an easy basket.
Here's Cage. Follows his shot, but can't hang on. It's Illinois State on the move now. This is kick back to Muller. Now Smiley. Schaefbauer is open from anywhere on the floor. Anytime he catches it, expect him to shoot. He says he's in range when he can see the arena from the bus.
Well, he can get hot anytime, so he's a shooter, and it doesn't bother him. He'll keep shooting them, and eventually he'll probably make some. So
he's been in range ever since he hit the Murray Baker. A Kinkalay down the lane, no good. Bio putting it on the floor. It's Bradley ball. Moran in for Bradley, replacing Cage.
Bradley almost got an offensive rebound, which would have been their first, and then Cage couldn't find the handle, and he lost it.
Bio tried to post up. Watkins got a hand on it. He gets it at the other end. And it's Illinois State ball out of bounds. A little bit of contact there, and Eric Roberson ends up taking out
half the bleachers.
One of the photographers or someone down there.
I don't know who that is sitting on the floor.
I think he's with the Illinois State cheerleading squad, although I don't think he's a cheerleader. Try to get it down low to Watkins, and a Kinkalay comes up with the steal. Good defense by Bradley's big man.
I'm almost glad when they throw it to anybody but Hill.
I think Bio looks a little tired, too, after slugging it out all night with Watkins and Hill. He gets it inside, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line.
That's three.
3 personals now on Rico Hill. So Hill, Smiley, and Gibbons all with 3 personals for Illinois State. Bio goes to the line. He's 3 of 3 there tonight.
For Bradley, only Roberson. Roberson has 2 fouls for Bradley.
Senior from Morgan Park near Chicago, up and no good. Actually, that's in the city, isn't it?
Yes, Beverly Hills, south side, southwest side.
Cartmill in for Hill.
Actually, it's right near Blue Island almost, which is just outside the city.
The senior makes the second one. Bradley back within 2. A Kinkalay 14 points. He averages 14.4.
Boy, Atkins was completely lost that time in defense. That's where the freshman tendencies happen to show up.
How about this matchup? Kinkalay's guarding Dan Muller.
That's probably why he hasn't got a lot of rebounds. Kinkalay's been covering out on the floor more.
Rob Dye was the leading rebounder in the first half with 6. Watkins' turnaround jumper is off the mark.
And now he's missed 2 straight the second half.
Bradley can tie it or go ahead with a 3. Moran inside. Atkins. Now a Kinkalay's open. A little bit long on that one.
It was too open that time, I guess.
I don't think he wasn't quite sure he wanted to shoot it. Cartmill pulls up at the other end. That's short.
Bradley's got another chance to tie it up.
Better get the Carver Arena crew back out here and check those rims, make sure they're regulation height. Both teams cold to start the second. 5-second count a problem, but Dye gets rid of it. Shot clock at 12 for Bradley. The freshman, Atkins. Roberson's open, but Moran can't see him. 5 on the shot clock. 4, 3, 2. Steal, Jamar Smiley. The #1 assist man in the Valley comes up with the steal there.
Bio had a good shot there, and they tried to get a better one and wound up losing the ball.
We've played 4 minutes.
Shooting sure cooled down for both teams so far.
7 points between the 2 teams in the first 4 minutes of this second half. Watkins turnaround off the glass, no good. A Kinkalay with the rebound. Well, there's his first rebound of the ball game.
Well, there hasn't been much action so far here. Neither team has shown an inclination to score.
Brett Atkins, the freshman. His first bucket in the Bradley ISU rivalry, and we are tied. Shea Fowler has it blocked by the second leading shot blocker in the conference, Bio Akinkole, who needs a blow. He wants out of there. He'll get a rest.
Bio looks a little tired. I think that timeout came at the right time.
37 all, 15-16 to play. Lee Hall and Ron Ferguson back at Carver Arena. We are tied 37-37. The number 10 career shot blocker in the Valley is Bio Akinkole. He's now just 4 behind Marcus Timmons on the all-time list. There's a look at the senior. Bradley Trivia is brought to you by your local Ford dealer. Which MVC team has Bradley defeated the most times in Carver Arena? The answer coming up.
One of the reasons that Bradley doesn't have any offensive rebounds, Lee, is that because Illinois State gets the ball so fast down the floor that Bradley's thinking of getting back on defense, and so they just retreat right away instead of going to the offensive board.
Redbirds inbounds, tied at 37. Shot clock is at 15 for the Redbirds.
Gibbons is back in.
Muller 0 for 3 from three-point range, so he passes that one up. Now Smiley, now back to Muller.
Boy, Muller
cannot buy one tonight.
Muller's shot doesn't really look right. He's a pretty good shooter, really.
52% from the field going into tonight's ball game.
Tell you what, Guy hasn't had many shots tonight, too, so Muller's doing a heck of a job on him.
Nowhere to go there. Collins open for 3, passes it up.
There's the third time.
Gives a two-foot bounce pass to Moran. Now it's Cartmill the other way. It's up and good.
That's the third time in a row they've tried to jam the ball inside and then they lose it. They're going to have to shoot some of those shots outside.
Cartmill now with 12 off the bench.
He's a good player. Bradley recruited Cartmill, and he'll be a good player for them next year when he gets a lot more minutes.
(39-37) ISU. Roberson with 7 on the shot clock. Way short. And quickly ahead, Smiley. Up and good. The senior with his first basket from the field tonight. Jim Molinari wants a 20-second timeout.
Well, Illinois State just flat out got the ball down the floor before.
A little bit too easy for Illinois State here in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, well, that's because the shots that Bradley are getting, and they're not getting very many. The couple that they get are not very good shots.
A little too easy for Illinois State if you are the Bradley Braves. DeMar Smiley on the run here.
Illinois State's a pretty good team in transition, and I'm sure Bradley's trying to keep that from happening, but they haven't done as good a job the last 3
There are a couple of veterans of the war on 74. Kerry Burrell on the left, Wayne Funchess on the right at tonight's ball game. Bradley Brave alums. Aaron Zobrist is here somewhere, too. I don't think he got quite as good a seats as Funch and Kerry, though. Illinois State now by 4. And the Redbirds have picked it up a little bit defensively.
They're in a half-court trap.
A little bit of a matchup zone type thing, right?
Yeah, where they're double teaming and just making Bradley play a little faster. And they're just trying to speed up the pace of the game, and it's obviously that's the Illinois State's advantage if they can do it. In the meantime, we're not even Bradley's not looking at the basket.
Akinkole is. 16 for Akinkole.
They're getting the ball down.
Shea Fowler for 3.
Well, that looked good.
I don't think he's made a 3 tonight either. He has not made a basket tonight.
Is that on Rico Hill?
I think it's on Watkins. That is now 3 on Watkins.
Rico's not in the game. Yeah, Rico's in the game.
Second team foul on the Redbirds this half. They had 13 in the first half. Team fouls, that is.
We got Rico Hill covering Cage.
4 Redbirds have 3 fouls. Hill, Watkins, Smiley, and Gibbons. Bio looks to back it in on Watkins. No luck there. Die for three. No good. Smiley the rebound, and quickly the other way for Illinois State.
Okay, Smiley's been a great point guard for Illinois State for 3
Hill.
years.
Rico Hill from the impossible angle down low.
He's led the Missouri Valley in assists the last couple years, and he gets the ball down the floor and delivers the ball to the open man, and he's just done an outstanding job for Illinois State.
Boy, he is so much more under control now with the ball on the dribble. When he was a freshman or sophomore, you never quite knew where he was going to go, but he has really improved for Illinois State. It'll be Bradley Ball with a new shot clock.
Collins almost had an offensive rebound.
Muller and Hansel in for Illinois State. Roberson back in for Bradley. Muller and Schaefbauer. Boy, you don't see that very often. A combined 0 for 10 from the field.
You just wonder how long it's going to last.
There's the foul trouble we mentioned from Illinois State, rather.
But Illinois still plays aggressive defense even with the foul trouble.
Eric Roberson, the only Brave with as many as 2. 43-39.
I'm a little surprised that Illinois State doesn't go into a zone.
Ed Cage from the top of the key. Atkins had a tip at it, but couldn't get it to go.
With a zone defense, they can sure protect Rico Hill a lot more, and we haven't shown any preponderance to really do well against the zone this year so far.
Inside Muller. Over Cage, no good. Akinkele, the one-armed rebound.
Muller's getting some good shots. He just hasn't, just one of those nights.
Very atypical for the senior. One of our favorite Redbirds, that's for sure. We're talking all time.
Kerry Burrell is really working hard. I mean, Kerry Burrell, I'm watching him on the screen. Eric Roberson, I never could get those guys, tell those guys apart.
Brett Atkins is alone down low. He has 4. Bradley back within 2. You would think now, the way this game's going around, low-scoring game would favor Bradley. Illinois State averages about 75 points a game. Illinois State using a lot of shot clock this time. Muller looking for his first bucket of the night. Can't throw it in the Illinois River tonight.
Roberson goes up and gets a great rebound.
0 for 7.
Tell you what, Bradley looks a little tired right now. I think Illinois State's pushing the pace up a little bit.
Crowd on their feet. Sellout crowd here at Carver Arena. Guys fouled by Cartmill. That's the first on Cartmill. 3rd team foul on of the half on Illinois State. 9:58 left in regulation. Bradley trailing Illinois State by 2. With a 2-point lead. Bradley Trivia is brought to you by your local Ford dealer. We offered up the following question earlier. Which Missouri Valley Conference team has Bradley defeated the most times in Carver Arena? Well, if you think about it, it's probably not that tough a question. Drake with 13 losses here. Indiana State, Wichita State next with 12 losses here. Illinois State, Creighton, and Southern with 11 losses here at Carver Arena.
I thought Chicago State had that record. Oh, it's at Missouri Valley Conference.
Yeah. This building opened when you were athletic director in 82.
82,
if I'm not
right.
mistaken. And I'm sure that Kevin Stallings appreciates the fact that the 82 NIT team will be honored Saturday night and not tonight, because he played for that Purdue team that lost to Bradley in 1982. So he just do not see those guys.
That's
again.
right. I remember I watched Kevin play when he was in college. I watched him in high school too, because when I was at Illinois State, we recruited Kevin Stallings.
That's 4 personals as we reminisce. 4 personals on Rico Hill. Big play there. Akinkele at the line, shooting 2.
Well, Bio's been shooting free throws so good lately, and
Hill sits. He's got 14 points.
He's not picking a good night to be missing them if he barely wants to stay close in this ballgame.
17 points now for Akinkele.
I believe he had 17 points last year over in Bloomington.
5 of 7 at the line. 1-point ball game. Illinois State turns it over.
Well, Bradley's had their opportunities, Lee. Both teams have had opportunities to really get, a 5 or 6, 7-point lead, which will probably be a huge lead in the way this game is being played.
Illinois State led by as many as 6 in the first half. That's been the biggest lead for either team. Illinois State, the full court pressure.
And they've got Jerome Robinson in there.
Akinkele's got blood on his shorts. I don't think the officials have seen it yet. 6 is the biggest deficit for Bradley. Biggest lead for either team. 9 on the shot clock. Boy, Bradley's really having a tough time finding a shot here in the second half.
5 seconds on the clock. Well, I tell you what, Illinois State is really underrated defensively. They are a good, strong defensive basketball team.
And they are having their problems from the field, as we mentioned. Muller and Schaefbauer 0 for Peoria tonight. Highly unusual for those two seniors.
Really, Illinois State is getting better shots.
Shot clock at 2. Dye from midcourt, nearly. All right, it wasn't midcourt, but it was darn close. Bradley has really had a tough time getting a shot. The shot clock has been their enemy in the second half. Credit the ISU defense. Watkins for the jam. Penetration from Smiley sets up the jam for Watkins.
And he's really good at that.
That's his first bucket of the second half, Ron.
Smiley's as good as any guard in the league at penetrating and getting the ball to the open man.
12 points for Leroy Watkins. The average is just 8.
Bradley's still having trouble getting a good shot. And that's
shot clock's at 8. And now it's just going to be another rush job. Dye for 3. And with 1 on the shot clock, Rob Dye saves Bradley there. His first 3-pointer of the night. Bradley and Illinois State tied with 8:04 to play. Smiley the miss. Bradley ball.
I don't think Smiley wanted to shoot that, but he didn't have any choice. He got up in the air and had to shoot it because Watkins wasn't open that time.
Bradley was 0 for 1 from 3-point range in the first half. Ten count. Bradley just beat it. Roberson. Nice pass for Moran. Bradley, their first lead since it was 29-28 in the first half. 7:30 to play. Braves up 2.
Well,
Muller finally breaks free.
You know that he was going to hit eventually.
Whistle in front of the bench. The Illinois State bench.
Turnover on the press.
There's a timeout on the floor. Kevin Stallings. Illinois State Redbirds lead it by 1. Left in this ball game. Good penetration here from Jamar Smiley, Ron.
Right, he's a fantastic point guard, and that's why he leads the league in assists every year. Illinois State really doesn't have a weakness. If they have a weakness, if they don't have outstanding size, but outside of that, they really don't have a weakness.
Huge bucket there from Rob Dye. The shot clock has really, as I mentioned, been Bradley's almost second opponent out there in the second half. Illinois State doing such a good job defensively. Bradley can't get a shot, and they're very often having to throw something up with only 2 or 3 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Rob Dye did it that time and came through.
Well, with Illinois State's big men in foul trouble, I'm sure Coach Mo would like to get the ball inside to Bio and Moran and try to get Rico Hill and Watkins and their inside players foul out of the game. But Illinois State's just dropping in because our outside shooting hasn't been that good. and are doing a fine job of deflecting the ball and keeping Bradley from getting any good shots.
Rico Hill is on the bench for Illinois State with 4 personals and 14 points. Smiley for 3.
There's another offensive rebound for Illinois State.
Smiley doesn't shoot the 3 very often. Muller for 3. Roberson high for the rebound, and Illinois State last touched it. It'll be Bradley ball.
See, the other thing, Lee, is Illinois State's going for the offensive rebounds because Bradley doesn't get the ball down the floor fast, and they can gamble and go to the offensive boards. A team that doesn't run, it gives the other team some advantages in some areas of the game.
Steve Hansel checks in for Skip Schaefbauer. More pressure from Illinois State. Bradley just beat it last time. Die to Atkins, to a Kinkelay. Up, no good. Might have been a foul on Hansel. It's Bradley, or make that Illinois State ball. Hansel got a hand in there. No foul call.
Well, that was a big play for Illinois State.
Redbirds a 1-point lead. Watkins has been relatively quiet here in the second half. It's Illinois State ball with 14 on the shot clock. Molinari looking at a 1-point deficit from the Bradley sideline. As a Kinkelay does some work on his shoes.
Bradley hasn't picked up a foul in the second half, Lee, which is kind of a rarity.
Not nearly as many whistles here in the second half as we had in the first. Smiley penetrates with 8 on the shot clock. No good. Cage tipped it. Roberson the rebound. Second leading rebounder on the Bradley team with 6 a game. Eric Roberson.
Well, when you pick up your dribble, Illinois State gets all over everybody.
A Kinkelay tries to create. Ball tipped. Muller comes down with him. I think Bradley's getting a little frustrated offensively.
Not good shots. 3 fouls on Roberson. And really the only Bradley player that has any foul trouble at all.
Nobody else has any more than 2. First team foul on the Braves this half.
Here comes Rico back in.
Hill checks in with 5:44 to play with 4 personals. They go immediately to Rico. Steps in and he's blocked by a Kinkelay. Second block of the night for a Kinkelay. Cartmill puts one down that nobody can touch. Cartmill with 3 threes on the night. He's got 15 points.
He's been the guy that's hurt Bradley tonight, Cartmill. But
15 points off the bench.
Rico Hill hasn't played a lot, and certainly that's hurt Illinois State.
Ed Cage. And Atkins over the back. That's the second on Cage, second team foul on Bradley this half.
Grant's coming in for Bio. Bio signaled that he needed a break, but I don't think he can keep him out there too long. Well, the possessions now are critical. It's getting down to the 5-minute mark. The way Illinois State's playing defense.
Schaefbauer's open for 3.
Yeah.
He's not going to miss if he's that open.
Well,
and he pointed right at Kevin Stallings and said, "That one's for you for having faith in me and staying with me."
Yeah, that was a big shot for Illinois State. Now Bradley's got to forcing Bradley now to come down and play a little faster, and that's just what Illinois State wants.
All of a sudden, the 3-point shot has become quite a factor in this game. Bradley 0 for 1 in the first half. Illinois State 2 for 11. Now they go to a full timeout, so we will go to a break with Illinois State leading by 7, their biggest lead of the game. Carver Arena, it's the biggest lead of the ball game. Illinois State has knocked down a couple of threes in pretty fast fashion here tonight. Schaefbauer, who was 0 for the night, knocks down the 3, and there's the three-point shooting. As we mentioned, it wasn't much of a factor early, but Illinois State has picked it up. They are now 5 of 6 from three-point range in the second half.
Well, Illinois State has been getting better shots than Bradley has the entire game. They just haven't shot well up until recently, from the outside anyway. And Bradley now, offensively, has just had trouble really getting any good shots at all, and that's been the difference, and that's why Illinois State's ahead.
And bench scoring is in favor of Illinois State, 17-11. They've done that 10 times out of 15 games so far this season. That's outscore the opponent's bench. And they're doing it here tonight, thanks mainly to Kyle Cartmill, who has 15 off the bench, 3 3-pointers on the night to lead Illinois State in scoring.
Bradley's having a difficult time just getting any kind of a good shot. We're just running around the perimeter.
Roberson tipped away by Leroy Watkins. A block by Watkins. Big play by the senior from Chicago Corliss High School. Akinkale back in for Bradley. Somebody's got to come out. Cage does. It's Dye, Jerome Robinson, Matt Moran, Eric Roberson, and Akinkale for Bradley. Roberson fires up the 3 with 1 on the shot clock. Akinkale comes up with a loose ball.
That may be the only offensive rebound, unless they count a couple tips that came earlier.
It's Smiley, Schaefbauer, Muller, Watkins, and Hansel for Illinois State, and Watkins picks up his 4th personal with 4:01 to play. So it's Hill and Watkins, the 2 ISU big men inside, each with 4 personal fouls. So you would imagine Bradley would try and attack there.
The clock keeps running while all this is going on, though. It's almost a minute off the clock since Bradley needs to score rather quickly here to get back 3 or 4 points.
Roberson almost loses it. And now Akinkale has it at half court. How often do you see that?
I mean, we're playing a little bit like we've got a lead here.
Matt Moran just is having a lot of trouble trying to post up against Leroy Watkins. Here's Atkins in the lane. He's fouled. And he'll go to the line.
3:38 to go.
Fouls on Dan Muller, his second, 6th team foul on Illinois State. Fred Atkins will shoot 2 at the line.
Can't give Illinois State's defense enough credit. They are really keeping Bradley, making him really struggle to get a good shot.
Haven't heard much from Fred Atkins since he had 20 against Oakland, but he is 7 of 8 at the line in Valley Conference games. That's good for 8 in the conference, 73% on the season. Freshman from Cape Coral, Florida, makes the first. Rico Hill checks back in with 4 fouls. Cartmill back in for Illinois State as well. Watkins and Hansel sit.
Kevin Stallings has used his bench pretty good tonight. He's kept Illinois State with the lead, with Rico Hill not really playing a lot of minutes, and that just shows you what kind of balance Illinois State has, and also the coaching job that Kevin Stallings is doing.
That ends a 9-0 run by Illinois State.
Bradley can't miss the free throws. They need to make them all. They don't need to make 1 for 2.
54-48. 3:30 to play in regulation. Bradley has some work ahead of them if they're going to force any more than that.
Yeah, they're going to eat up the clock a little bit too, and then probably.
Smiley off the penetration. Big play by the senior Jamar Smiley, who has 5 points. So quick with the dribble.
Illinois State guards everybody really tough. It's really tough to get even to get a pass on.
Bradley tries to spread the offense a little bit, a la Princeton, and now Atkins will go back to the line to shoot 2 again. Atkins back at the line. Hit 6 3-pointers against Oakland earlier this year. You've seen those things in the newspapers in different places, separated at birth. He is a dead ringer for Mitchell J.J. Anderson.
Mitchell just has a few pounds on him right now, though, I might add, ladies. About 200.
56-50. Steal by Atkins. Basket is good. Bradley back within 4. Is this the Southwest Missouri State game? And Roberson tapped it out of bounds. Bradley picks it up full court. Caught Illinois State off guard a little bit, I think.
Yes, they did.
Fred Atkins now with 9 points. And all of a sudden, it's a ball game again. 2:37 left.
Well, Bradley needs another stop here. They can't let Illinois State score again here. And then,
ooh, Cage almost had one there. Instead, it's a whistle against Bradley and Eric Roberson.
Eric's got 4 fouls. They certainly need Eric to stay in the ball game.
They get a new shot clock with 2:22 left.
Smiley, Atkins being a freshman covering Smiley, Smiley can just penetrate on him at will. If he wants to, if he chooses to. See that? He goes right in there like nothing. But he missed it.
Missed the shot.
Kevin wanted a foul, I think, there. And
Roberson walked.
Coach Molinari didn't like the call, obviously.
We're under 2 minutes now. It's a 4-point Illinois State lead.
That was a big turnover there for Bradley.
The Illinois State big men in foul trouble the entire game. Bradley not able to take advantage of that. Illinois State shot clock now at 9.
Now here goes Smiley again. Now he's going to...
Might have walked there. Shot clock at 2. Muller up off the rim, no good. And it's Bradley ball. With 3 players on the floor, 25 left. Leroy Watkins back in there with 4 personals. Hill and Cartmill sit. Hansel and Watkins back in for the Redbirds. 7-1 in the Missouri Valley Conference, and catch Evansville, the Aces, with a half-game lead on Illinois State. Evansville will be here Saturday night. Schaefbauer the steal.
They're just double teaming Bio.
Blocked by Roberson. Akinkele comes up with it. He's fouled by Smiley.
Not a very smart foul on Smiley.
Akinkele will shoot the bonus. Smiley now with 4.
Yeah, so the last thing Smiley wanted to do is stop the clock and let him walk down here and shoot free throws. Vice versa.
Akinkele 76% at the line. He's 5 of 7 there tonight. The senior with the 1 in bonus to keep Bradley in this one with 1:05 left. First one is up and good. He'll shoot the bonus. 18 points for Akinkele. Rico Hill checks in for Leroy Watkins as Jim Molinari does some maneuvering with 65 ticks left.
Well, Kevin's bringing Rico in offensively and bringing Watkins back in defensively.
Akinkele rattles the second in. He's got 19, and it's a 2-point ball game.
Roberson can't foul.
Dye does. He fouls. 3 more to give, which is a disadvantage right now, really.
Right.
Normally you would think it's an advantage.
Well, of course, Bradley needs to make a stop here. Timeout. Kevin takes a timeout.
Timeout, Kevin Stallings. He wants a full timeout. Illinois State had a 7-point lead. Bradley has battled to stay in this one, Ron, and they've done it.
Well, it's another game, and very similar. Both games last year were down to the wire, and it looks like another one tonight. And when these two teams play, they have a habit of really keeping the game close, keeping the fans in their seats.
There's a look at the timeout situation. Each team with a full timeout left.
Your team's going to get 60 unless there's a lot of free throws here in the last 30 seconds. Well, apparently Bradley's going to lay back and make them shoot the ball here. They're going to
yeah, they can't foul 3 times that quickly.
No.
They go inside to Hill, and it's blocked by Akinkele with 7 seconds left. That's 3 blocks tonight for Adebayo Akinkele. Inbounds, Watkins. Up and through the crowd, can't get it. Dye saves it. Illinois State ball with 27 seconds left, no shot clock.
Yeah.
Cartmill will check in for ISU.
Now they got a break on Watkins missing the shot and just couldn't get the rebound. Now they've got a foul. And they really can't worry too much about who they foul.
It doesn't matter unless it's on a shot.
Well, I mean, they got to foul quickly and then foul somebody else. You can't let them hold the ball. They're going to have to get him into the bonus. They're going to foul twice real quick. If I was Illinois State, I'd break way back in the backcourt here so you could dribble the ball around. I'd break the guy way back here and just let him dribble the ball away from somebody if you get about 10, 15 seconds off.
All right, the next one sends him to the line.
It really doesn't make a heck of a lot of difference, but you've got to foul almost right away. Now he can get away from it.
Got to get him. And that whistle comes with 18.8 seconds left. Jamar Smiley will go to the line. He is 72% there. One of two at the line. Watkins back in for Hill. Hansel in for Cartmill. Smiley at the line. One in bonus. Can you say Kevin Alt?
You got plenty of time.
Dye presses the issue to Roberson. Blocked by Watkins, fouled by Hansel. I think Stallings was afraid that Rob Dye was going to sneak up there and maybe try and shoot the free throws. Eric Roberson, we know what he's done at the free throw line, 49% this season. First free throw of the night is no good. Hill in for Watkins. Apparently the whistle was called on the shot, obviously.
Oh, I could tell that one was in.
Muller with the rebound, and he'll shoot free throws at the other end. He's 2 for 2 at the line tonight. So he's made 23 of his last 28. That's over 80%. First one's up and good, the senior.
Well, that makes it pretty tough. Bradley had a couple chances to tie the ball game up.
10 seconds left. Illinois State by 3. This one would do it.
I'm not so sure Dye shouldn't have taken the ball in, and he probably would have gotten fouled too.
In and out. Bradley still has a chance, but they need a 3. Dye off the rim and no. 1. Time runs out. That's it. Illinois State with a 3-point win, the first road win in this series since 1992. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a minute. 4 win. Illinois State now 12-4, 7-1 in the Valley, tied for first.
Well, and this was an excellent basketball game. It wasn't a sloppy game. It was really hard fought. Both teams played great defense. Illinois State played much better defense, I think, the people give them credit for, and they played a long time without Rico Hill. Bradley gave it a good fight. Eric Roberson played a great basketball game, so the 2 free throws that he missed at the end certainly weren't indicative of what he did in this game. He kept Bradley in the game.